Did you know that a simple mistake while traveling, whether by plane, car, or any other mode of transport, can put your life at serious risk, and you may not even realize it? Many seniors over 60 believe that just planning their trip ahead is enough to stay safe. But the truth is that some dangers strike silently and without warning. Every year, thousands of elderly travelers face medical emergencies, accidents, and unexpected situations, many of which could have been avoided with the right precautions. The most terrifying part? Some of these risks don't just ruin vacations, they can have life-threatening consequences. And the worst part? Most people don't realize it until it's too late. But don't worry, because in this video, we're going to reveal the 9 hidden travel dangers that every senior must know before stepping on a plane, car, or any other form of transport. More importantly, you'll discover how to protect yourself and travel with confidence, knowing you're fully prepared. And there's more. The last danger we'll cover is the most dangerous of all, and according to trusted sources, it's the one that happens most frequently during senior travel. Stay with me until the end, because this could be the most important travel advice you've ever received. Now let's get started. The first 3 silent dangers that can ruin your trip after 60, and how to avoid them. The silent threat of dehydration. Imagine stepping off a plane into a sun-soaked paradise. The air is warm, the sky is clear, and the excitement of adventure is in the air. But as the temperature rises and the hours go by, you begin to feel lightheaded. Your energy drains, your mouth dries, and suddenly, something as simple as walking feels exhausting. You might dismiss it as mere fatigue, but in reality, your body is warning you. You're becoming dehydrated, and the consequences can be far more severe than just feeling a little tired. As we age, our bodies naturally lose efficiency in regulating water levels. The sensation of thirst becomes weaker, and by the time you actually feel thirsty, dehydration has likely already set in. Seniors traveling to warm or humid climates face an even greater risk, as their bodies struggle to maintain proper hydration while adjusting to unfamiliar environments. According to the Mayo Clinic, older adults traveling to high-temperature destinations are 30% more likely to suffer from dehydration-related complications, including dizziness, confusion, and even falls, one of the leading causes of hospitalization among seniors. But dehydration isn't just about thirst. It has a direct impact on cognitive function. A dehydrated brain doesn't work the same way. Studies have shown that even mild dehydration can lead to reduced concentration, increased reaction time, and memory problems, all of which can be dangerous when navigating a new city, crossing busy streets, or even making simple travel decisions. If left unchecked, it can escalate to severe disorientation, fainting, or even heat exhaustion, turning what was meant to be a dream vacation into a medical emergency. So, how can you avoid this silent enemy? The key is to stay ahead of dehydration before it even starts. Carry a refillable water bottle and make drinking a conscious habit, even if you don't feel thirsty. Avoid excessive alcohol and caffeine, as both contribute to fluid loss. And if you're in a hot or humid environment, increase your water intake significantly. Your body is losing moisture even when you don't feel it. Being proactive about hydration isn't just about comfort. It's about ensuring that your body and mind stay sharp, energized, and ready to fully enjoy every moment of your journey. The hidden danger of climate extremes. Now, picture yourself in the heart of a vibrant city, surrounded by breathtaking landmarks and buzzing crowds. The sun is beating down relentlessly, the heat bouncing off the pavement, making every breath feel heavier. You might think, it's just a warm day, I'll be fine. But the reality is that heat can be an invisible predator, creeping up until it's too late. Seniors are significantly more vulnerable to heat strokes and hypothermia, and the reason lies within the body's natural ability to regulate temperature. As we age, our bodies lose efficiency in cooling down, making it harder to adjust to extreme weather conditions. Heat exhaustion can set in without warning. What starts as simple discomfort quickly escalates to dizziness, nausea, rapid heartbeat, and, in severe cases, loss of consciousness. The British Heart Foundation warns that seniors over 65 are twice as likely to suffer heart attacks during heat waves, a staggering statistic that highlights just how dangerous extreme temperatures can be. But heat isn't the only threat. On the other end of the spectrum, cold weather presents its own set of dangers. Hypothermia can occur even in seemingly mild conditions, as the body loses heat faster than it can generate, leading to confusion, muscle weakness, and a dangerously slow heart rate. And the worst part? Many seniors don't even realize they're in danger until their body reaches a critical point. So, what can you do? Preparation is everything. Check the climate of your destination in advance and pack accordingly. If you're traveling to a hot location, wear loose, breathable clothing, stay in shaded areas, and never overexert yourself under direct sunlight. For colder destinations, layer up, stay dry, and be mindful of how long you spend in chilly conditions. It's not just about comfort, it's about survival, travel fatigue, and cognitive confusion. Traveling isn't just a physical experience, it's a mental challenge as well. From packing and planning to adjusting to new time zones and environments, it can be overwhelming, especially for seniors. Long flights, sleepless nights, and constant changes in surroundings take a toll on the brain, often leading to travel fatigue, cognitive fog, and disorientation. At first, it may seem like simple exhaustion, a little forgetfulness, some difficulty focusing, but as it worsens, confusion can set in. Simple tasks like remembering hotel room numbers, navigating public transportation, or following an itinerary can suddenly feel overwhelming. And in unfamiliar surroundings, even a small lapse in concentration can lead to getting lost, misplacing belongings, or even falling victim to scams. According to the Journal of Gerontology, excessive travel stress can accelerate cognitive decline in seniors, making it not just an inconvenience, but a real health concern. Lack of sleep, dietary changes, and unfamiliar environments all contribute to this cognitive overload, increasing stress levels and reducing the brain's ability to process information effectively. So, how do you fight back against travel fatigue? The answer lies in pacing yourself. Seniors should build flexibility into their schedules, allowing for longer rest periods between activities. Stick to routines whenever possible. Wake up at the same time, eat meals on a consistent schedule, and avoid overloading your itinerary with back-to-back sightseeing. Prioritize sleep, stay hydrated, and don't be afraid to take breaks. By allowing your mind and body the time it needs to adapt, you can prevent mental exhaustion and fully enjoy your trip with clarity and ease. When I started diving into this topic, I was shocked by how little people actually talk about it. Most travelers never even consider these hidden dangers, and that's exactly why so many find themselves in unexpected, sometimes even life-threatening situations. The truth is, just a little awareness can completely change how safe and prepared you are for your next trip. And now, you know what most people don't. You're already ahead. You've seen how something as simple as dehydration, extreme temperatures, or travel fatigue can turn a dream vacation into a nightmare. But we're just getting started. The risks we've covered so far are serious, but they're nothing compared to what's coming next. The next dangers are even more unpredictable, more threatening, and, in some cases, far more devastating. And before we go any further, if this knowledge gave you a new perspective, if it made you stop and think about the reality of traveling after 60, then take a second to hit the like button. That one click may seem small, but it's powerful. It tells YouTube that this information matters, that these risks deserve to be seen by more people who need to hear about them before it's too late. So don't just keep this insight to yourself. Support this message and help others stay safe. And stay with me, because what comes next is even more dangerous. Let's keep going. The second 3 deadly dangers that can happen to seniors while traveling, and how to stay safe. The hidden peril of falls and fractures. One misstep can change everything. Picture this. You're stepping out of your hotel lobby, eager to explore the charming streets of an ancient city. The air is filled with the scent of fresh pastries from a nearby cafe, and the sound of distant street musicians adds to the magic of the moment. Then, as you take a step onto the cobblestone sidewalk, your foot catches an uneven surface, your balance shifts, and before you know it, you're on the ground. Falling is often dismissed as an accident that just happens. But for seniors, it's one of the most serious threats to health and mobility. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, falls are the leading cause of injury-related hospitalizations in seniors over 65. The risk is magnified while traveling, where unfamiliar sidewalks, slippery hotel floors, and uneven terrain create the perfect conditions for disaster. A single fall can result in fractures, surgeries, months of recovery, and in some cases, permanent loss of independence. What makes falling so dangerous? It's not just the physical injury, it's the psychological toll it takes. Many seniors who experience a fall develop a fear of walking, which leads to reduced mobility, loss of confidence, and even social isolation. This fear, ironically, increases the likelihood of future falls because avoiding movement results in weaker muscles, slower reflexes, and poorer balance. So how can you protect yourself? The solution is not avoiding travel, but rather preparing for it. Before your trip, invest in a pair of sturdy, well-gripped walking shoes. If you have any mobility concerns, consider using a cane for added stability. There's no shame in prioritizing your safety. And above all, be mindful of your surroundings. Avoid poorly lit streets, always take your time when walking, and don't hesitate to ask for assistance when navigating challenging terrain. A little precaution today can prevent a life-changing accident tomorrow. The dark world of scams and fraud, why seniors are prime targets traveling, exposes you to new experiences, new cultures, and unfortunately, new scams. You've saved up for this trip, carefully planned every detail, and looked forward to it for months. But what if in an instant you found yourself stranded without your wallet, tricked by a stranger or worse, manipulated into handing over your life savings? Scammers specifically target senior travelers, viewing them as easy marks due to their trusting nature, unfamiliarity with local customs, and sometimes slower reaction times. According to the FBI, seniors are twice as likely to fall for travel scams compared to younger travelers. Fraudsters take advantage of this in a variety of ways. Fake taxi drivers who overcharge for short rides, street vendors selling worthless souvenirs at absurd prices, and even sophisticated online scams that trick people into booking non-existent hotels. One of the most chilling scams involves criminals posing as friendly locals offering to help. They may strike up a conversation, build rapport, and then use that trust to deceive, rob, or mislead travelers into bad decisions. And while some scams may only result in minor financial loss, others can leave you in a vulnerable position, completely stranded in an unfamiliar country. So how do you stay ahead of the scammers? Awareness is your first line of defense. Always book hotels, flights, and transportation through reputable companies. Be skeptical of deals that seem too good to be true, because they usually are. When in doubt, follow one golden rule. If someone approaches you with an unsolicited offer, assume it's a scam until proven otherwise. And finally, always keep your valuables secured. Never flash large amounts of cash, and consider using anti-theft bags that make it harder for pickpockets to strike. The world is full of beautiful places and kind-hearted people, but it also has those who prey on travelers. By staying cautious, you ensure that your trip remains an adventure, not a nightmare. The hidden threat of pedestrian accidents. A deadly misstep in a foreign city crossing the street should be simple. It's something you've done thousands of times in your life. But the moment you step into an unfamiliar country, everything changes. Traffic flows differently. Pedestrians don't always have the right of way, and one wrong step can have fatal consequences. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, seniors account for 39% of all pedestrian fatalities in urban areas. That's nearly 4 out of 10 pedestrian deaths. An alarming statistic that highlights how vulnerable older travelers can be in high-traffic environments. Why is this happening? The answer lies in a combination of age-related factors and environmental risks. As we get older, reaction times slow down, peripheral vision decreases, and hearing loss makes it harder to detect oncoming vehicles. Pair that with foreign traffic laws, aggressive drivers, and chaotic intersections, and you have a situation that can turn deadly in seconds. But here's the good news. Pedestrian accidents are preventable. The key is situational awareness and strategic planning. Whenever you're in a new city, observe how locals cross the street before you attempt it yourself. Use designated crosswalks only, even if it means taking a longer route. Avoid walking alone at night and never assume that a driver sees you. In some countries, pedestrian signals don't necessarily mean cars will stop, so always look both ways, even when you have the right of way. Another essential tip: consider using public transport instead of walking long distances. Many seniors insist on walking as much as possible to stay active, but in cities with chaotic streets, it's sometimes safer to take a bus or metro than to risk navigating dangerous roadways. Your safety is more important than your itinerary. Rushing across the street to make it to a landmark on time is never worth the risk. Stay patient, stay alert, and make your movements deliberate and cautious, because one miscalculated step in an unfamiliar city can be the last step you ever take. As we go deeper into these travel risks, It becomes clear that most people never think about them until it's too late. But once you see the reality, how a single misstep, a well-planned scam, or a moment of distraction in a busy street can change everything, you start looking at travel differently. And that awareness, it can make all the difference. So, let me ask you something. How many times have you come across something like this and immediately thought of someone who needs to hear it too? Sometimes, just one piece of information can completely shift how we see things, opening our eyes to risks we never even considered. That's why I want to hear from you. What stood out to you the most so far? Which part made you stop and think? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And more importantly, share this video with someone who needs to see it. Because the next part, it's even more critical. What we're about to discuss could be the single most important thing you learned today, and it could save a life. So write your thoughts in the comments and send this video to someone who should know about this. Let's spread this information before it's too late. Now get ready, because the next dangers are the most shocking of all. The 3 deadliest travel risks for seniors over 60. Travel is supposed to be a time of relaxation, joy, and exploration. But for seniors over 60, hidden dangers lurk beneath the excitement, and some of them can be fatal if ignored. In this final section, we uncover the 3 most severe risks that elderly travelers face. Threats that are not just inconvenient, but life-threatening. Unlike the previous dangers of falls, scams, or even traffic accidents, these last 3 risks are medical emergencies that can strike without warning. They often develop silently, escalating into crises that demand immediate attention. From deadly blood clots on long flights to fatal infections in crowded places and the leading cause of death among elderly travelers, heart attacks and strokes, these risks can turn a vacation into a life or death situation. But knowledge is power. Understanding these dangers before you travel could mean the difference between a safe trip and a medical emergency. Deep vein thrombosis, DVT. Picture this. You board a plane, excited for your dream destination. The flight is long and you sit comfortably in your seat, maybe watching a movie or taking a nap. Hours pass without much movement. Then, as you finally get up to stretch, you feel an odd tightness in your leg. You brush it off as stiffness, unaware that something far more dangerous may be happening beneath the surface. Deep vein thrombosis, DVT, is one of the most silent yet deadly conditions seniors face while traveling. It occurs when blood clots form in the deep veins of the legs, often due to prolonged sitting during long-haul flights or road trips. The real danger? These clots can break free and travel to the lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism, a potentially fatal condition that can strike suddenly, leading to shortness of breath, chest pain, and even death. According to Harvard Medical School, travelers over 60 are 70% more likely to develop DVT compared to younger passengers. And the risk isn't just during the flight. DVT can develop hours or even days after you land, making it a silent ticking time bomb. The terrifying part? Many cases of DVT go unnoticed until it's too late. Symptoms like swelling, warmth, or discomfort in the leg can be easily mistaken for general travel fatigue. But the consequences can be fatal if not detected early. So, what can you do to prevent this silent killer? The answer is movement. Every 2 hours, stand up, stretch, and walk around, even if it's just in the aisle of the plane. Consider wearing compression socks, which help improve circulation and reduce clot formation. And most importantly, stay hydrated. Dehydration thickens the blood, increasing the chances of clotting. You don't need to fear long flights, but you do need to prepare for them. Taking these small precautions could literally save your life. Infections and disease exposure. The invisible threat to weak immune systems. We all know that airports, airplanes, cruise ships, and tourist destinations are breeding grounds for bacteria and viruses. But for seniors, exposure to these pathogens can be far more dangerous than for younger travelers. As we age, our immune system naturally weakens, making it harder to fight off infections. That means a simple cold caught on a plane can turn into pneumonia, a condition that is one of the leading causes of hospitalization for seniors. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, elderly travelers are 4 times more likely to require hospitalization due to infections compared to younger travelers. And it's not just colds or the flu. Foodborne illnesses from contaminated street food, respiratory infections from crowded tourist spots, and even tropical diseases in certain destinations all pose serious threats. What might be a mild inconvenience for a younger traveler could become life-threatening for someone over 60. Airports and airplanes are especially dangerous. Think about it. You're in an enclosed space, breathing recirculated air, touching the same surfaces as thousands of other people. One study found that the tray tables on airplanes have more bacteria than the average public restroom. So, how do you protect yourself? Vaccinations are your first line of defense. Make sure you're up to date on flu shots, pneumonia vaccines, and any additional immunizations recommended for your destination. Wash your hands frequently and carry an alcohol-based sanitizer to use after touching high-contact surfaces. When eating, be mindful of food hygiene. Stick to reputable restaurants and avoid street vendors in countries with lower sanitation standards. No one wants to spend their vacation in a hospital bed. By taking simple precautions, you can enjoy your trip without unnecessary health risks. Heart attacks and strokes, the leading cause of death in elderly travelers. This is the most serious risk on the list, the one that claims the most lives among elderly travelers. A vacation should be relaxing, but for some seniors, the stress of travel can do the exact opposite. It can trigger a fatal cardiac event. According to the American Heart Association, heart attacks and strokes are the leading causes of death among senior travelers. Why does this happen? The combination of travel stress, high altitudes, dehydration, poor diet, and disrupted medication schedules can put enormous strain on the heart. Long flights and high-altitude destinations reduce oxygen levels, which can be dangerous for those with pre-existing heart conditions. Travel stress, navigating airports, dealing with delays, and adjusting to new environments spikes blood pressure, increasing the likelihood of a heart attack. Many seniors ignore warning signs, thinking symptoms are just fatigue or jet lag. But chest pain, dizziness, shortness of breath, and sudden weakness are all red flags that should never be ignored while traveling. So, how do you prevent the worst from happening? The key is preparation. Before your trip, consult your doctor to assess any travel-related risks based on your medical history. Carry an emergency supply of your heart medications, including aspirin, nitroglycerin, if prescribed, and any blood pressure medications. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel unusual discomfort, seek medical help immediately. Many travelers delay going to the hospital because they don't want to interrupt their trip, but that hesitation could be deadly. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Your heart doesn't take a vacation, so make sure you prioritize its health no matter where you go. Think about this for a moment. What would change if you actually started applying this knowledge in your life? What would happen if, instead of just absorbing this information, you made a commitment to go further? Because that's exactly what separates those who truly make a difference. The desire to keep learning, evolving, and putting what they know into action. Now, you've seen the hidden dangers that most travelers never even consider. You've gained insights that could protect you or someone you love. But knowing is just the first step. The real transformation happens when you decide that this is just the beginning. If this made sense to you, then don't stop here. There's so much more ahead, and I want to be part of that journey with you. So don't just leave with this knowledge, take action. Hit that like button, drop a comment sharing your thoughts, and send this video to someone who needs to see it. And most importantly, subscribe now, because this is just the first piece of a much bigger puzzle. Here, we go beyond the surface, uncovering the truths that few talk about, truths that can change the way you see the world. Click the subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Like, comment, and share this with those who need to hear it. And above all, keep learning, because real transformation begins the moment you decide to want more. Wait, don't click away just yet. Since you made it this far, I've got something special for you, a bonus insight that most people completely overlook. Even if you follow all the travel safety tips we just covered, there's one subtle behavior that could still be working against you. It's not about health or planning. It's about how others see you. And believe it or not, the way you act in everyday situations might be making you seem older and grumpier than you really are. Now, after everything we've gone through today, you already know how to avoid the most dangerous travel risks and protect your health while exploring the world. You've taken in crucial knowledge that most people don't even consider, and that puts you miles ahead. But here's something most people never realize. You could be sending the wrong message without even knowing it. A small habit, a certain tone, a simple comment, can all feed a stereotype that makes you look like someone you're not. And worse, it can push people away and even affect how others treat you. That's why in the next video I'm going to show you 5 things that are making you look like a grumpy old person, even if you don't feel that way. These are subtle behaviors that most people don't notice in themselves, but everyone around them does. And the worst part? You might be doing one of them right now. If you want to stay sharp, open, respected, and never fall into the trap of being seen as bitter or closed off, click now on the video that's on your screen. I'll reveal what these habits are and how to break free from them fast. Don't miss it. This might change how others see you forever. I'll see you there.